Greetings, I'm Nobulali Dili, reporting for pvnews.online, and these are today's trending news. Dozens have been killed as Israeli strikes on Gaza's humanitarian zone, which results in a spark desperate search for buried victims. At least 40 people have been killed in an overnight Israeli strike on a humanitarian zone created to shelter displaced people in southern Gaza, according to local rescue officials, in what Israel has said was an operation targeting Hamas fighters in the area. More than 60 people were also wounded in the strike, according to the Gaza Civil Defense, as rescuers raced to recover victims buried under sand and debris. The group said its crew were facing great difficulty in retrieving victims, many of whom were believed to have been sleeping at the night of the strikes due to lack of resources and paucity of light. The Israel Defense Forces said yesterday evening that it struck significant Hamas terrorists who were operating within a command and control center embedded inside the humanitarian area in Khan Younis, Gaza. Hamas denied it had placed fighters in the area. The strike hit Al-Mawasi, a coastal region in Khan Younis, where tens of thousands of displaced Palestinians have fled to. Many living in tents in an area with sparse infrastructure, scant access to shelter, or living saving humanitarian aid. The Israel's military said the operation was carried out with the direction of the Israel Security Agency and the Air Force, and that steps were taken to mitigate civilian harm, including the use of precise munitions, aerial surveillances, and additional means. The military did not say whether it warned civilians in the area. In its statement, Hamas called Israel's claims that its fighters were in the area a blatant lie through which it seeks to justify these heinous crimes, Hamas said. Dozens of unharmed civilians, most of whom were kids and women, were killed in the strike. Gaza Civil Defense spokesperson Mahmoud Basal said Palestinians in the area were not warned of the strike in advance. There were more than 200 tents of displaced people at Al-Mawasi area, adding about 20 to 40 tents were destroyed and entire families have disappeared in the sand. Eyewitnesses said that at least 5 missiles struck in the area, according to the Gaza Civil Defense. The explosion created 3 large craters, Basal said. Ambulance and civil defense crews were mobilized on the site, and there is talk of a large number of killed and wounded, he said. Video circulating on social media showed Gaza Civil Defense members digging in the sand as they searched the missing people. Clothes and shoes have been seen scattered across the area. A camera operator on the scene saw 3 large craters and people pulling body parts from the sand, including what appeared to be a human leg. The people were buried in the sand. They were retrieved as body parts, said Ataf al-Shah, who was displaced from the southern city of Rafah. The IDF has accused Hamas and other militant groups in the Gaza Strip of continuing to systematically abuse civilians and humanitarian infrastructure, including the designed humanitarian area, to carry out terrorist activity against the State of Israel and IDF troops. Israel have previously struck Al-Mawasi in its pursuit for Hamas commanders, and previous strikes have caused significant civilian collateral casualties. In mid-July, a strike aimed at Hamas military chief Mohammed killed at least 90 Palestinians. The following month, Israel said its intelligence community have confirmed that Hadif, one of the reported masterminds of the October 7th attacks, was killed in the attack. Israel says it has killed or captured half of Hamas commanders and more than 14,000 combats since the war began. However, there are clear signs of the group's resurgence in parts of the Strip previously cleared by Israel's forces, who devastated large swaths of the area in the process. What happened in Israel is definitely traumatizing. My heart goes out to the women and children who are affected. In fact, families have been affected. It has been reported that people were retrieved as body parts. So, what is happening in Gaza is definitely more than what we think. You know, it is also clear that infrastructure is also being damaged. So, what is going to happen about infrastructure once this strike is over? It makes you also wonder, since this strike has caused a lot of havoc, like have international leaders and organizations, were they able to intervene in this crisis or make efforts to try to calm the situation and bring solutions? Also, the women and children affected. It also makes me wonder, as a man in war or in a strike harming other women and children, doesn't it ever come to you that at home you have a wife, you have children, and having to do this to another man's family? Like, what goes through your mind at this point? Yes, we can all admit that anger or wanting solutions, you can do things without thinking. And also, we have to think about the long-term consequences of the strike on Gaza, especially the economy, the environment, and the way they will live socially, because the people affected are going to suffer the consequences in the next months or the next weeks after this crisis. You know, it's not something that happens today and it ends today. The results are going to it's going to last a very long time, you know. So tell us what you think on this. Have you seen the videos uploaded on social media? As traumatizing as it is, give us your views on this whole crisis that's happening in Gaza. If you haven't subscribed on our YouTube channel, please subscribe at pvnews.online. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and on X. Download our mobile app at iStore and at Play Store. I am Nobulali Dili, reporting for pvnews.online, signing out.